All right, everybody, I'm getting ready to prepare my art journal for this week. Anyway, I'm going to switch this around really quick. Hi, everybody. There's a face to what we're about to do. So yeah, I'm getting ready to prepare my art journal for this week. What I normally do is get some pages kind of pulled together, little bits of stuff. So as I add to it during the week, it'll already have this base of some painting. So right now I'm just going to work on some watercolor washes on several pages. So I'll have a nice background to work with during the week as I use my journal. So anyway, I'm going to flip this back around. All right. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay. All right, so there it is. So here I have this blank journal. Now this is some journals that I sell at in my shop, and it's I get them from India, and the same fair trade collective of women that make my sari silk. They also make these books for me. So anyway, and you can see, you know, my journal this month has been terrible. You can see it's just mostly lots of just scribblings and stuff like that. But I don't think I have my other journal with me. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I normally do. Now, usually I have these blank pages, and I use my journal as my calendar and my Filofax and my to-do list and everything, but I do it in my sketchbook because when I come up with creative ideas, then this is what I have on hand, where, you know, my grocery list is and where my calendar is, to kind of keep all of my stuff in one place. So what I like to do is to start to add some color washes, and that might inspire me to add other little bits of ephemera into my art journal, and it all sits in the same place where I write down my everyday notes. So one of my favorite techniques, especially when you're starting with a blank journal, one of my favorite techniques is to actually paint the background with watercolors. And I do not use fancy water. I mean, I guess I have some tubes of nice watercolors. You can see this cheap thing where the lid has come off. But this is, I want to say I got this at Michael's or somewhere. Just really super cheap tin of watercolors. And I know that I've seen similar things at the dollar store. I mean, you could probably buy them at the grocery store for that matter. So just to begin with, I'm just going to paint a couple of watercolor backgrounds. All right, and I'm going to start with just a watercolor wash on here, and I'm going to try and keep an eye on that chat, just in case you guys have any questions, but it's pretty straightforward. All right, and I'm going to start with, how about this purple? This week feels like a purple week. Now I know this week I've got a lot going on because I'm getting ready to go to the beach with my girlfriends, and so not only do I have to get my business ready for me to be off for about 4 days or so, but I also need to get my packing together and make sure everything's, you know, copacetic at home. My husband's staying behind with the pets, and I'm just going with my girlfriends this time. So you see, I kind of like that light spot right there. I'm going to leave that, but this will give me a nice little space. Now sometimes too, what I like to do is divide the page up with some of that, with some of the colors. Now you see, the only thing I don't like about this book is the paint kind of soaks into the page pretty good. You can see, and I'll just work with that when I come to it. But you know, if I was using, my favorite is the Moleskine watercolor journals. I love those. All right, so for this one, I'm going to give myself, I'm going to go with maybe a little bit of orange, and I'm just going to do one stripe of that orange because I know I'm going to divide this page up a little bit. I'm just gonna do a little painting. Oh, you know what would be cool? Now I tell you, I like this orange color when I mix it with something like this pink. So I'm gonna take this pink and wash up this way. Yeah, see? Ooh, it's almost like a sunset. All right, let me keep adding some stuff. All right, so I'm going to leave just that to that side, but in between here, I'm going to add, how about this yellow here? Just do a wash of yellow. See, nothing fancy, just simple washes. Now, but you see what that's going to present is I've got two sections here. So maybe it's that, you know, this starts out as my list of stuff that I'm going to need for my upcoming beach weekend. And this might be something else. Maybe this is my grocery list. Maybe this is just notes from something. So anyway, but it's pretty much ready to go. So what I like to do is to go ahead. I'm going to use a piece of paper to kind of put between that. I'm going to go ahead and just do the next spread. All right, and I'm just going to continue and do several of these. I might skip this side since that side's still pretty saturated with water. Let me go for this teal color. Throw down some of this, but you know what? I'm going to play. Just add some random washes. And I'm not going to worry about how neat it is because it's all just going to be backgrounds for what I'm going to add this week. Ooh, I love this deep, deep, deep blue. That's my favorite. At least today it's my favorite. I tend to switch favorites. I like all the colors. All right. There's that one. All right. I'm going to turn that page and I'm just going to let that. I mean, if it bleeds onto this, then it's going to bleed onto that. If I hate it, then I'll cover it up later. Or tear it out. You can always cut that page out. Just play. So I'm going to try this color. Now this I'm going to do it dry because I haven't painted on the background. I tell you, this is not my favorite color. But you know what? It's nice. But it's not a color if I was going into a paint store to buy paints. This is not necessarily one that I would pick out for myself. Ooh, but this one, it looks like it's similar, but it's a little more red to it, more purpley. I'm just gonna leave. See, now maybe I'll just leave this right here. Leave that blank and just let those two sides happen. All right. Switch it over. You see what I'm doing? I'm just kind of going through and just prepping a bunch of pages. All right. So here's my purple. And I'm going to just, on this side, since it's not really loaded with a lot of water. And I guess that's the main thing. If the page seems really super loaded with water, then I'll usually not cover the back side with anything and just let it be what it is. Here's that. And I'm just adding some colors randomly. And what I'll probably do is go back and add probably go back and add, you know, washi tape and maybe paste some stuff down. All right, so that's what I do. I mean, that's it. Nothing much to it. Just taking a few minutes on a Sunday and painting just some basic backgrounds to prepare for what I might add to it this week. Pretty simple. Now this, you can always, let me show you. If I go a little nuts with the water on that, and then you can also go back in. I'm going to go back into this brown. Just adding a little texture, nothing fancy. All right, I'm going to do another one. I'm going to use this golden ochre kind of color. I like that color. I really like that color when it's complemented with this kind of, actually this deep blue. Well, let's see what happens if I let it bleed. Maybe, right? That's interesting where it kind of lets it, where it kind of blends in where that water's pooling right there. All right, see, easy peasy. All right, so, well, you know what, I'm going to do this other side right here, but I'm going to do it a big solid wash back to that yellow color. That looks really brilliant on my end. I don't know if you guys can see how brilliant that is on yours. All right, so there you have it. So I've done, what, we're talking a total of 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spreads. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Thanks. Super simple. Super simple. 6 spreads ready to go. And that's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm going to do for right now. And so the rest of the week, what I'll do is I'll end up adding stuff to it. Let me see if I have my other book. I'll show you any of my other books. Oh, of course I don't have them right here to show you guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just really down and dirty, getting some pages ready. So I'll broadcast later on in this week as I start to add my to-do lists and some other stuff to it. But anyway, so thanks for joining me. And there it is. It doesn't have to be super long. It doesn't have to be super complex. You can just start with painting a few pages and getting it ready. And then that just leaves a nice pretty background for whatever else you're going to add to your journal. And for me, it's going to be exciting stuff like my menu for the week and and maybe my packing list for my beach trip. But I'll show you how I end up adding little details of art to that to help unhinge some of that creativity. So there you have it. Thanks for joining, y'all. Bye. Thank you. Thanks for the hearts. Yay.